Joined by Sports Director Matt McCoy and one Bill Conley. Bill, just an overview, opening game. You like what you saw?
Oh, yeah, especially on the defensive side of the ball. What an improvement from last year, Joel. I'll tell you, we were flying around, making tackles, playing great defense. All four quarters except when the second team got in there, then you got have a little bit of a chance. But our defense played great. I think the linebackers especially, that's the group that stood out to me as it played much better than they did a year ago.
Yeah, and see, I was talking to Matt and talked to Jeff Logan last week, and I was just concerned about the big play and that we would give it up, and it seemed like we got that pretty well clamped down.
Yeah, and the first quarter, how about that? And really the first half. In the first half, Joel, minus 47 yards. I mean, that's unbelievable. 2 first downs, 1 out of 10 third down conversions. You can't ask much more out of a defense than that.
All right, Bill, of course, this is what we do. They win 45-21, but you have to emphasize the negative at times. So the 28-0 start, and everything was going well offensively. What bogged down after that, and what do you think Ryan Day wants to address going forward into this game against Cincinnati?
Well, I think just we stopped ourselves a couple of times, Matt. One time we had back-to-back penalties. We had to delay a game right after we had a holding penalty, so that stopped the drive. So, a few mistakes, but they were learning mistakes. They weren't big mistakes. A couple turnovers, which you can't have. So those things can be worked on. But the thing that impressed me was that we played a lot of guys, gave up a little bit at the end, but, man, that's going to help us down the road.
Justin Fields, your initial impression of his debut?
I think it was a good, solid first game. We said going in, Matt, as you know, that's not a Dwayne Haskins type of quarterback. He's not the guy that's going to stand back there and throw the ball in the pocket all day long. But what it did show us was that he's a dual threat, that every team we play now, somebody's got to count for Justin Fields every play because he can hurt you with his feet. I think we'll find as we go his passing will improve too. I thought he threw good passes, but a lot of his receivers are wide open too. But I think Justin Fields has the makings of a good quarterback. But it's a work in progress.
Yeah, when you talk about that, talk to me about the tight end play. Matt and I were talking earlier this morning. In fact, We've got a poll question up. Just, who do you think the player of the game was? And when you've got an Ohio State tight end with 6 catches and 2 touchdowns, that's pretty notable, isn't it?
Man, I'll tell you what, that meeting room for the tight ends is a happy place. And then they're bringing donuts every day and everything like that. They haven't seen nothing like that. Who would have thought the first 2 completions of the year would have been the tight ends?
Yeah.
And then there were some formations. There were 3 tight ends in the game. I told Matt, I said, Woody's looking down. He's very proud. And the quarterback under center, how's about that?
Yeah, well, let's ask about that, Bill, because we saw in Urban Meyer's era, and it was just what he didn't do. They did not very often, if at all, put the quarterback under center. We did see in the red zone Ohio State do that and had success. The last 2 touchdowns were with Justin Fields under center. What does that give the offense? What is Ryan Day probably looking at there that will help them in the red zone?
Yeah, first thing it does, it really gives the offensive line to have success blocking. Because let's face it, when you get in the red zone, what's the defense going to do? They're going to try to come after you. And you can do a gap blocking scheme. So no matter what type of stunts they do inside or what type of movement they do inside, we can gap down, kick out, and lead through. So that's really good for offensive linemen to come off the football. And the second thing it does, it gives you that hard play action fake so the tight ends or a back can drift out into the flat. And we saw that Saturday. So that's a special type of offense in itself, and it's going to take a lot of practice time for the opposing defenses to go up against.
Okay, Saturday is going to be rather unique. Bill, I think back to you. You recruited Luke Fickell to Ohio State. You were on the staff when he was a player at Ohio State and played for the Buckeyes. And you were on the staff when he was beginning his coaching career as an assistant coach at Ohio State. Now he's a head coach at Cincinnati after 2011. He was here for a year, won a national title with Urban Meyer and staff in 2014. We all know his background. What is Saturday going to be like for Luke Fickell?
Well, it's got to be surreal. It really does. Now, he's going to do his best to make it business at hand, but how can you not have special feeling? Think about this, Matt. That's the first time he'll be in that stadium where he's been on the wrong side of the field.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be that. And, I'm sure he's prepared. He's been preparing for this game for a long time, and he wants to make amends for when he was the interim coach and stuff like that. It's going to be a homecoming that he's going to look forward to, but also he's going to be extremely nervous about.
Bill Conley, our guest, talking Buckeye football with Matt McCoy, Joel Riley. Hey, Coach, tell me this. When you look at this game, I mean, Ryan Day, head coach now officially. He had his 3 games last year, but this is his ship now, and he's steering it. So he's got his first win. Talk to me about the pressure. I mean, you feel like Cincinnati comes to town. There might be a little pressure on them because, hey, in-state and all that stuff, but isn't the pressure still on Ohio State defending the home turf? We're the higher-ranked team, and if we screw up, it looks really, really bad?
Yeah, there's definitely more pressure on the home team in this situation. Ohio State's never lost in modern-day football to an in-state opponent. And arguably, Cincinnati is the second-best college team in Ohio. So the pressure is more on Ryan Day. The coach's pressure is kind of funny, though. You think about it a little bit before the game and stuff like that, but once you get into the heat of the battle, it's game calling and things like that. But there's no doubt there's more on the line for Ohio State. I always thought these types of games, you have to win about 32-7 because if you don't want to score so many points. You make them look bad, but you don't want to look bad yourself. So the thing you got to do is just have a good, solid performance, no mistakes, take care of the football, and you're into the territory, and then continue playing great defense will be fine.
A lot of times you look for who's got an emotional edge in this. And Bill, a lot of times you bring up the fact that, especially an in-state school like this, Cincinnati, I'm sure they have a lot of players that would have liked to have been Buckeyes, but were not recruited for whatever reason. I mean, it's an in-state school. Tell me about that, motivating factor. I imagine Luke Fickell's using that. Like, hey, we're going into the stadium. How big of a deal is that, and can that emotional edge help Cincinnati in this game?
Well, usually that does happen at the beginning of the game. These guys from Cincinnati, they think they should have been recruited by Ohio State, and they didn't. They weren't for various reasons. So Ohio State is a superior team athletically. They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. But emotion can play a lot. But it only can play so long till you get hit in the mouth a few times. Then reality sets in. And so it's tough to keep it up for 4 quarters. At times it's good, but you can't keep that type of emotion up for 4 quarters.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out for sure. Bill, great stuff. We appreciate the time. Matt, thanks. Talking Buckeyes, of course, get ready for another podcast from Matt and Stanley. That'll drop on Wednesday. If you missed last week's, it's really good stuff. You can find it now at 610WTVN.com.